Welcome to the Run-In on BT Sport, where today you join us in the WWE UK Performance Centre in this cage that we've been very specifically told we can't climb, shake or jump off of. As we look ahead to this Sunday's Hell in a Cell, it's the most brutal match type in the WWE. There's no mercy and no excuses, and we'll be talking about all the matches on the card, as well as talking to some of the superstars fighting on the night. Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre will settle their rivalry once and for all in the Cell, and we'll catch up with Drew to talk about that shortly. We'll also be hearing from Rey Mysterio, who challenges Roman Reigns for the Universal title, and the Women's Tag Team Champions, Natalya and Tamina. And now, normally, when you come into this performance centre, you'll see Trent and Ginny setting personal bests all over the place, lifting huge weights. But thankfully today, I've managed to pull them away from their workouts to talk about Hell in a Cell. Trent, how are we? Ginny, how are we?
I'm very well, thank you very much. And how are you?
I'm good, loving the sun.
You're looking ravishing again.
Thank you,
Yeah,
so do you both.
Stop it, please.
It is my best t-shirt.
It is your best t-shirt.
It is. When it comes to t-shirts and chinos, you're the man.
Pull it off.
I have upwards of 3 combos.
3, calm down.
Ginny, I'll come to you first. Your favourite Hell in a Cell memory?
So my first one is Sasha Banks versus Charlotte, 2016. Incredible match, history makers, just everything about that match was just absolutely incredible. I remember watching it live as well, and just the atmosphere and everything was just, it was so powerful. For me as a wrestler as well, when you watch those moments, it pushes you to want to sort of want to better yourself, because you want to be on the stage just like them too. So that's definitely my number one. My second one is one of the most famous ones, which is Mankind versus The Undertaker. Incredible match. And I have a fun fact here, a little bit of knowledge, that The Undertaker actually holds the records for both most wins, and also most Hell in a Cell matches as well.
It's the return of the Ginny exclusive from WrestleMania.
Exclusive.
It is the Ginny exclusive that can be easily found online.
It is.
Trent, I know you've got a particular Hell in a Cell that lives in your memory.
It's a nice segue into my favourite Hell in a Cell moment. Obviously, it involves The Undertaker, and it was WrestleMania 28, the end of an era. Whoa. I had the amazing opportunity to actually be there. So I was live in there. We had terrible seats when we first got there, behind a palm tree at like the 7th tier up. So I put on my best Harry Potter British accent, rolled up to, what's it called, Will Call, and went, "Excuse me, I've travelled all this way and I can't see because there's a fake palm tree in the way." And then she gave me tickets right next to the hard cam. And it was the best day of our entire lives. The absolute best kick out in the history of professional wrestling is Shawn Michaels super kick, out, turns round, pedigree, 1, 2, no. And then the whole stadium just erupted at that point. So yeah, that's definitely my top moment.
It's got to the point where on the Run-In, Trent's wet eyes are basically an extra guest. And we were talking about them in the last episode, with the potential of Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio becoming the first ever father-son combo tag champions. Of course it happened, I imagine. Floods of tears in the Seven household. And we caught up with Rey Mysterio to see how he found making history.
I've been asked this question many times, where, Ray, what else do you have left to do in this business? And I'm always answering, if I leave right now, I'm happy. This right here was unexpected. This happened in a lapse of 3 years. Once my son started to train, and just seeing his progress, I was like, wow, well, this is something that was very unexpected by my son and obviously by me. And to actually say that there is our name behind the history books in wrestling as the first father and son tag team champions is incredible, unbelievable, man. In ways, the fans have grown up watching my family in WWE for the past 19 years. And now to bring them back, after such a long time, and to see them all grown up, it makes us feel old, saying, wow, I can't believe that was Dominic, the little kid, that was in the ring with Eddie Guerrero.
So, Rey Mysterio, constant history maker,
Emotional.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
So emotional.
and now finds himself in the Universal title picture. Despite this entire career he's had, he's still at the top level, now with, Roman Reigns, who is very much the top guy in the WWE. How does Rey Mysterio do it?
Good genes.
I find he wears loose
Yeah.
lycra,
You can see
actually.
Yeah, he's been wrestling since he was 14 years old, and the style he wrestles as well, like that takes a toll on your body.
Yeah.
But the fact that he's still there, he's wrestling at such a high standard with his son, it's mind-blowing. It really is. It has to be good genes, but
It is. It's just ridiculous, and
Yeah.
you can see parts of him coming through in Dominic as well, like the way Dominic moves and the way he's obviously been taught by like the greatest luchador in the history of professional wrestling. So that's definitely a help. It's just lovely to see. That's all it is. It's just lovely to see. And
But it did spoil you and Tyler's dream.
it did. It's ruined now. But thanks ever so much, Ray. Don't worry about it. I'll still adopt him, and we'll be the first ever father and son team to win back the NXT tag team titles.
and the first ever adopted, father and
there
son.
you
So
go.
that's a
There you
history.
go.
That's a
That'll be it.
history-making moment.
Yeah, there's still moments for me to take.
Yeah.
I like it.
While we're on the topic of family, Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, it's complicated at the moment,
kicking off.
isn't it?
Very, very complicated.
know.
There's so many factors as well, because normally obviously, Roman is the one who just has the backup, no one else does, but Ray does as well. You're not going to let your father go into a Hell in a Cell match with Roman Reigns and, other outside factors and just sit in the background and just let it happen. No way.
But this is the point of the cell, Ginny. It's locked from the outside.
Yeah, but there's always a way. There's always a way. When it comes to these matches, anything is always thrown at us.
Indeed.
It's
People
so
find
true.
their way of getting in
There's
and out.
Always a way.
Very true,
So
very
you never
true.
know what's going to happen. But there's so many complications just in regards to, as you said, Jimmy and Jay and Roman. So even though that there's, heat between, the three of them, nothing's going to happen where Roman would lose a title. No chance.
He's got that protected,
Absolutely
I
not.
think, yeah. And also, I
So-
saw that whooping that he received from that Roman received from
Yeah.
Ray with the kendo sticks as well. So there's a 99.9% chance that those are going to be neatly provided
100%.
for usage.
100%.
Rey Mysterio's Universal Champion would be, I don't think there's anyone on the planet who would say no to that. So-
100%. He's had such a fantastic career as well. And now the fact that he's wrestling alongside his son, for him to hold the tag team titles with his son and be the Universal Champion. That's,
King of the Blue brand.
Yeah.
Absolute goat.
100%.
That is,
A lucha goat, a goat.
the lucha goat.
In a mask.
A goat who does lucha.
Yeah.
I mean, moving on from goats doing hurricane runners, let's talk about the other champion on SmackDown, Bianca Belair, now going into Hell in a Cell. What is there left for us to say about Bianca Belair? We've spoken ever since the first episode of RunIn. We've just spoken about how much we love her, and now here she is, the next huge challenge, right?
I was going to say the superlatives have been exhausted almost. There's just nothing this woman can't do.
Yeah.
And, we've said it before and we'll continue to say it again. She deserves everything she's getting, but now we're seeing her, months on from WrestleMania, months on from the Royal Rumble, living up to it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the best part of it for me. Is we'll sit here and we'll hype her up as much as we can, and the fans will obviously hype her up and get behind her as much as she can. But she's going out there week in, week out now. She's proven it on the microphone. She's proven it in the ring, and I think she'll prove it again at Hell in a Cell.
There's not, like you said, there's nothing literally that she cannot do. But with being at the top of the mountain, at the top of the division, there's always going to be someone who wants to drag you down, and that's exactly what Bayley is trying to do. She is trying to get into the head of Bianca so she can, take an opportunity whenever she trips and falls and take that title back, because she doesn't want to be a sideline feature. She wants to be at the top of the division. Everyone does. You don't come into this business, not wanting to win titles. You want to be the top. You want to be winning matches. You want to be on all the pay-per-views. And Bayley wants that back. She wasn't on WrestleMania. She wants to be on the next pay-per-view as the champion, 100%.
Another person who has taken it to a new level in recent months is Tamina, who's picked up her first title in her WWE career alongside Natalya. And we caught up with the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions to see how they're finding life with the titles.
Well, when you go year by year by year, right? And you're kind of, and you're seeing a lot of people come in, and you're seeing a lot of girls get to that next level. And a lot of them are having the titles. And even with the guys, like, you know, you're feeling and you're wanting to be there for everybody every time they get those titles, you know. And those same people were all there for us when we got them, you know. And so when I see that throughout the years of me never getting that title, I was okay, and I was comfortable with myself in that sense, because I knew what I was worth. I knew what I could do. But at the same time, I was okay with it. But really, in reality, when you really think about it, you always want that gold no matter what.
At the end of the night, it was just the two of us, and Tamina was like putting something in her bag, and she looked at the championship, and she was like down on one knee, and she looked at the championship, and she just burst out crying. And sorry, Tamina, I'm gonna embarrass you. She burst into tears, and it was like one of the most like touching things I've ever seen, because I could just feel in that moment. It was like the moment just said 1,000 words. You know, it wasn't like, it's easy sometimes when the camera crew is around to like get a little extra hyped up or get a little extra emotional. I know, because I get like that at times, but nobody was around. It was just like this pure, wholesome, like genuine, like gratitude.
Tamina, it was.
Over here.
I take your time, please.
Sorry, I just got all emotional.
11 years Tamina had to wait for that first bit of title glory. How earned was that?
Yeah, it's all credit to her. You know, 11 years is a long time to wait for your kind of like your first title run, but I think that's where the credit gets paid back. You know, she's stuck down, she's stuck in there, knuckled down as a professional, and now she's getting the rewards that she deserves. So, I can't say anything else, but just real fair play.
100%. Like, she must have been so fueled by the fact that her family is in professional wrestling as well. You know, you've got Roman holding titles, you've got Jimmy and Jay,
top of the card.
Yeah, top of the card. You know, that's gonna wanna push you to do better, because you don't want to be, you know, one of the family members who's sort of left behind. You want to be at the top of the mountain with them, alongside them, holding the gold.
Right? Like,
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Look, the heritage of those two is just ridiculous, isn't it?
She has had an absolutely incredible career as well. She's made history by being the first woman to wrestle in Saudi Arabia against Lacey as well. She's a fantastic performer. Every single time she goes into the ring, you know, she knocks it out of the park. If you look at one of the best matches in women's wrestling, I'd say her versus Charlotte Flair at NXT TakeOver, absolutely incredible. And to see her now holding a gold around her waist with someone, you know, who she's grown up in the business with as well, Tamina, for them to hold it together and, you know, experience it together, it's fantastic to see, and it's nice. It's like a wholesome feeling.
Yeah, definitely.
Cesaro had his big opportunity with Roman Reigns last month at WrestleMania Backlash. Firstly, let's talk about that, because you get the opportunity at the top. I know he didn't win, but the show he put on,
He held his own,
brilliant, right?
He held his own. He was in there with the top dog, the number one man in the industry right now. You know, and there were parts of that match where you thought this was it.
Yeah.
You know, this was it. This is one where Cesaro's going to walk out of here as he's going to be the one that beats Roman. You know, eventually he didn't get the job done. Don't get me wrong, but there's no black mark against Cesaro's name from that match. He came out of there with a whole heap of new fans and a whole heap of respect from the industry.
It doesn't matter that he's not in the title picture anymore, because in my eyes, and I'm sure in your eyes and many people's eyes, Cesaro is one of the top players within WWE.
So we know this match is going to be great. Like, we don't have to speculate on the quality of this match.
Yeah.
Should it happen, Seth Rollins versus Cesaro is your safe bet for probably match of the night, right?
Yeah.
They're just unbelievable performers. Unbelievable.
But with Cesaro pushing himself to the top of the card and proving himself at that top level, it's also worth mentioning that Seth Rollins has just reinvented himself time and time again as a performer. And when he came out of the Shield, I think you could possibly be forgiven for thinking like, yeah, he's just going to be like the wrestling guy. Yeah. But man, he is entertaining again. Clothes, not great, but he is so good, right?
The clothes, I have to make a comment on that. I respect him. He is an absolutely fantastic in-ring performer. He's at the top of his game. Like you said, you know, when he came out of the Shield, he could have just been, you know, another wrestling guy. He wasn't. He was still at the top of the division. But sometimes those outfit choices are questionable. And because of that, I am Team Cesaro.
Burn them down.
Yeah.
We all agree. Seth suits. We're going to spend 3 minutes burning them down. We'll see you after the break. Welcome back to the Run-In on BT Sport, and now we are going to shift our focus to the action from Monday Night Raw that we're looking forward to in the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. We'll start with the Raw Women's Championship match. Get your hands off the cage, we were very specifically told. For goodness sake. Rhea Ripley, the champion, defending against Charlotte. These two, it's been getting increasingly heated over the last couple of months. What do you see in Rhea that could see her as a threat to Charlotte's position at the top? Could she replace her there?
100%. And Charlotte knows that, hence the reason why she is just attacking her. That brawl that we saw where, where the pull apart happened, Charlotte's face, nose bleeding, screaming, that's my title. Charlotte knows she's a threat. We've seen what she can do in NXT UK. We've seen what she can do in NXT. This is just the beginning of her career within Raw. She is one of the top talents within the company. She's an incredible performer. She knows how to bring it. She knows how to push people's buttons. She's a major threat towards Charlotte. She really, really is.
We all know that the top of the division has the leather and the gold around their waist, and right now it's Rhea Ripley. So I don't know, things are getting very heated.
Very heated, and I like it.
that like you say, just to go on that, the physicality of that pull up, that brawl that they had, they were swinging for the fences in there. So God knows what's going to go on at Hell in a Cell.
Rhea Ripley holding that Raw Women's title, having come through this Performance Centre, the NXT UK. How happy were you to see Piper Niven turn up on Monday Night Raw?
Amazing.
Mind blown.
Oh, it's not necessarily a speechless moment for me because, people who work as hard as, the people do here at NXT UK do, we want to see those people progressing and getting through to that. But to switch on your telly or switch on your app or go online and then see, Piper Niven on there, on Raw, beating former women's champions, that's the stuff that we need to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Like we've seen, Pete Dunne, be on Raw. We've seen Walter as well be on Raw and also Survivor Series as well. And they've both shown, the world what NXT UK is about. And now we've got the first ever female graduate from NXT UK Brilliant. On Raw, picking up a win against Naomi. As you said, former women's champion. How many people can say they've done that?
And now we can all look forward to seeing where the storyline with Eva Marie goes. Another storyline. Alexa and Shayna fighting on Sunday night. I have to ask you, who do you find yourself supporting here? Because you must be a bit anti-Alexa after the rivalry with Randy Orton, of course. And Randy Orton now being, scared off into the tag division. He's got Riddle with him now.
He knew. He was like, what?
It's so good.
Oh, it's brilliant, isn't it?
It's so good.
He was like, what? I'm not going to deal with this anymore. I don't want to be dealing with mind games. I'm just going to align myself as someone who's chilled.
Yeah, so going from the supernatural to going with someone who's got a really great grasp on reality, Riddle.
Yeah, what a chilled guy. He's just gone from
very chilled,
trying to fight the most demonic, bizarre demon who appears from Jack in the Boxes and is scalded to death to now riding around on a scooter with his little mate. But yeah, it's chill, and to be honest, it's incredibly entertaining.
It works.
We saw little snippets of this.
Yeah.
For those that follow NXT, with the Broserweights.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And now we're seeing it in full flow on the main roster there with RK Bro, and I can't get enough of it. I can't get enough of it. Feed me more.
You'd never think though that Randy Orton would align himself. If you look at his history, he's this ruthless wrestler who goes into the ring, wanting to do anything to pick up the victory. He's aligned himself with Riddle, again, another fantastic performer as well. But it just works. They just gel so well together.
Oh, the t-shirt opportunities, the merch opportunities.
It's a RK Bromance.
RK Bromance.
Write that down. It's an RK Bromance.
I like it.
Nice.
All right. Well, these two fist bump each other to congratulate each other on that. To be fair, excellent piece of wordplay. Let's look at Drew McIntyre, an interview we had with him the other day ahead of his match with Bobby Lashley in the Cell this Sunday.
I've been in and around the title for 18 months and being champion or fighting for the title for goodness, at least 16 pay-per-views. Oh, no, sorry, yeah, 14 pay-per-views in a row, I believe. So I literally can't imagine it. And the idea that no matter what I do will not earn me a title match seems insane, because, I mean, truthfully, like, the whole chat is, oh, here's Drew and his opportunity after opportunity. Here he goes again. There's been 2. Let's not get crazy now. It was WrestleMania with MVP on the outsides, I mentioned, dancing around, and I allowed him to distract me. That's on me. And then the triple threat where the other man in the match took the pinfall. So let's not go daft. It's not been that many, but, you know, Lashley and I have been doing this, going back and forth for about 4 months now. Hell in the Cell was created for a situation like this to end it all. And I will win. I will get back my title. That's absolutely the plan. But if for some miracle I don't, man, that would suck. I won the title with nobody there. I lost the title. I regained the title in the Thunderdome with virtual fans there. And the idea that I can't fight for the title or be champion when fans finally come back, I mean, it would just be another chapter, I guess, in the book, but it wouldn't be ideal.
What the hell? He's got a sword! Kidding me!
I mean, I know Adam Pearce was awfully worried about the sword going wrong. He made a few comments. He was genuinely concerned that I would get so excited and swing the sword the wrong direction and perhaps take one of his fingers.
So, Trent, Ginny, probably been involved in some contract signings throughout the years of your wrestling career. Ever thought about bringing a sword?
Not top of the list. I'm not going to lie. Not top of the list. Not top of the list of things I'd bring to the office to obviously do some very detailed paperwork with. But as they say, the pen is mightier than the sword.
It's different. It's definitely different. I didn't expect it, but it sent a message. It really sent a message.
And this time, the sword was mightier than the pen.
It was.
It's the other way around.
Yeah. I don't see him smashing through a table with a biro anytime soon.
No, you'd have to have a very, very good pen.
Yeah.
Stainless steel, maybe titanium.
Titanium. I say titanium, yeah.
Titanium pen made of spacecrafts.
I imagine on that contract was the stipulation of Drew McIntyre leaving the WWE title picture should he lose. Now, 18 months or so of Drew being at the absolute top of his game, the top of Raw. The man, firstly, must be exhausted, but should he lose, what does a title scene without Drew even look like?
I don't even know.
Do you know what? I think this is the thing that's pushing me towards really, like, I think this is the one. I think this is the one where he wins the title back.
Yeah, he has to. I mean, knowing that is the stipulation, you know, whilst Bobby Lashley holds the title, he can no longer challenge him if he loses. You know, that is going to put something inside you. That's going to not just light a fire, that's going to fuel you, everything above and beyond to want to take that title back. It's a need, it's a must, it's within him. He needs to hold that title. And I think this Sunday he's going to take it back. I really do.
Last Hell in a Cell, we saw Drew versus Randy, and Drew fell off the side of the cage, fell through the table. And I mean, he really hurt himself. Yeah, he bit through his tongue, and I think he had a bit of whiplash and everything. But it hasn't stopped him having physical match after physical match after physical match, particularly like the last sort of 6 or 7 months.
Yeah.
Ever since that Sheamus
It's been
rivalry.
him and Sheamus, hasn't it?
Oh, my word.
Top of the card, just absolutely hacking lumps out of each other. And Sheamus has carried on as well.
Which,
You know, we've got to give
Sheamus
him a
had
little bit
great-
of a fair mention there as well.
Yeah.
Despite the injuries last time, what are we expecting from this Cell match? There's got to be something crazy coming up. Let your imagination soar. What do you reckon? The huge spot in the Cell match.
Okay, let's just throw some ideas out there, right? When that sword goes into the ground, things go crazy. We have fire. We also have thunder and lightning as well, where Bobby Lashley makes his entrance. So we've got a absolute mixing pot of abiotic factors that we can all throw into the mix there that could obviously make their way into the Cell. And of course, obviously, as we saw on Raw, a very, very big, strong, massive, sharp sword.
Yeah.
Will that come into play?
Anything can happen. Like, you see it when it comes to Hell in a Cell matches. Every single contender brings it. It's so different. You just don't know what's going to happen. But this match is just going to be absolutely brutal and intense.
Bring
Absolutely
it home,
loving
Drew.
it.
Bring it home.
Bring it
Bring
home.
it home.
I'm surprised no one mentioned as a massive weapon that Bobby could use the huge Bobby Lashley that appears in the stadium in his entrance. Of course, because if the huge flying Bobby Lashley has anything to say about this, I think, unfortunately, Drew is done for.
Yeah.
One Bobby Lashley's enough. A huge flying Bobby Lashley.
Yeah.
No chance.
Untouchable.
The huge Bobby Lashley could just fly in and just lift the cage up.
That's it.
Like a delicious cake display. Just like, come on out.
And then shoot the lightning and the thunder in.
Lightning, thunder, fire, swords.
It's a sword versus a giant Bobby Lashley. Some lightning and some thunder.
You can't write this. You can't write this stuff.
That's why he needs the sword.
Yeah.
Because he's going to have to ward off the evil flying Bobby Lashley.
It's more than Hell in a Cell. It's a mythical story
Yeah.
between good and evil.
Indeed,
Yeah.
On which note, that is unfortunately all we have time for on this episode of the Running. Go on.
1 second. If Randy Orton and Matt Riddle formed a family band, they would be called My Chemical Arcade Bromance.
Okay, so you can catch more of Trent and Ginny on NXT UK on BT Sport on Friday nights. You, of course, can order Hell in a Cell through BT Sport box office. And until next time, we'll see you later.